Hello. Today we are taking a look at the Sirens, the story of the Sirens from the Odyssey. And I've recorded the screencast to help some of you who like to hear it while you're reading along. Plus, I'm also going to stop and kind of help you out along the way a little bit with reading some things. So I'm going to move my face down to the corner here, and we're going to take a look at the Sirens by Homer. And this story takes place right after Odysseus and his men leave the land of the dead, and they end up on Circe's island, which is something that at the end, Tiresias tells them that they need to go to Circe's island. Remember that they have to go back and they have to bury their companion who has died. So they go back there to bury their companion who died by falling off the roof while he was drunk. And they ask Circe for her advice on how to get home. So they know that things are about to face them. If you look at here, it says the sirens who lure sailors to their destruction. And you should have just watched that video on who the sirens were. So that'll help you understand a little bit about that. The wandering rocks and the sea monster Scylla and the whirlpool Charybdis. And then also Cattle, the sun god. So Circe gives them advice and then disappears. And this is where the story takes place. They're about to head off to face these adventures and try to avoid all these monsters in order to get back home again. All right, so here we go. As Circe spoke, Dawn mounted her golden throne. Do you see that personification? Homer loves to do personification with the sunrise. So Dawn mounted her golden throne. And on the first rays, Circe left me, taking her way like a great goddess up the island. I made straight for the ship, roused up the men to get aboard, and cast off at the stern. They scrambled to their places by the rowlocks, and all in line dipped oars in the gray sea. But soon an offshore breeze blew to our liking, a canvas bellying breeze, a lusty shipmate sent by the singing nymph with the sun-bright hair. That singing nymph with the sun-bright hair, that's Circe. So Circe is singing to the winds and causing them to push the boat out onto their adventure. So Circe's kind of helping them along the way. So we made fast to the braces and we rested, letting the wind and steersman work the ship. The crew being now silent before me, I addressed them sore at heart. Dear friends, more than one man or two should know these things Circe foresaw for us and share with me. So let me tell her forecast. Then we die with our eyes open if we are going to die, or know what death we battle if we can. This is a good point right here where we learn how Odysseus has maybe changed throughout the course of the story. For one of the first times, he's actually telling his men, this is what I know. I'm going to let you know what's going on. So this, what does Odysseus reveal about his character sharing information with the men? For me, it reveals that he's growing as a person. Sirens weaving a haunting song over the sea we are to shun, she said. The word shun means to avoid. And their green shore all sweet with clover. Yet she urged that I alone should listen to their song. Therefore, you are to tie me up, tight as a splint, erect along the mast, lashed to the mast. And if I shout and beg to be untied, take more turns of the rope to muffle me. I rather dwelt on this part of the forecast while our good ship made time, bound outward down, the wind for the strange land of the Sirens. Then all at once the wind fell, and a calm came over all the sea, as though some power lulled the swell. The crew were on their feet briskly to furl the sail and stow it. Then each in place they poised the smooth oar blades and sent the white foam scudding by. So the wind has stopped, and the men get to their oars, and they're going to start rowing the ship along to get to where they need to go. I carved a massive cake of beeswax into bits and rolled them in my hands until they softened. No long task, for a burning heat came down from Helios, lord of high noon. Going forward, I carried wax along the lines and laid it thick on their ears. They tied me up then, plumb amidships, back to the mast, lashed to the mast, and took themselves again to rowing. Soon as we came smartly within a hailing distance, the two sirens, noting our fast ship off their point, made ready, and they sang. So There are two different things that Odysseus and his men get ready for when they're rowing past the Sirens. I want you to try to pick them out. One is to allow Odysseus to hear the siren song while not being called to it. And the other one is to protect his men from being taken by the siren song. So figure out what it is that he does and think about what characteristic about Odysseus does this reveal. Okay, so here's the siren song. This way, O turn your bows, Achaea's glory, as all the world allows, mourn and be merry. Sweet coupled airs we sing, no lonely seafarer holds clear of entering our green mirror. Pleased by each purling note, like honey twining from her throat and my throat, who lies a pining? Sea rovers here take joy, voyaging onward, as from our song of Troy, graybeard and rower boy goeth more learned. All feats on that great field and the long way fair, dark days the bright gods willed, wounds you bore there. Argus old soldiery on Troy beach teeming, charmed out of time we see, no life on earth can be hid from our dreaming. So the siren song is maybe different for every listener as it asks you right here, because this song is really geared toward what these soldiers experienced, as opposed to if a different group came by, it would be geared based of something else. The lovely voices in ardor appealing over the water made me crave to listen, and I tried to say, "Untie me," to the crew, jerking my brows, but they bent steady to the oars. Then Paramedes got to his feet, he and Eurylochus, and passed more line about to hold me still. So all rowed on until the sirens dropped under the sea rim and their singing dwindled away. My faithful company rested on their oars now, peeling off the wax that I had laid thick on their ears, then set me free. Okay, so think about, what do the men do that shows that they've learned a little bit more in this journey? And then what does Odysseus do that shows that he as a character has also grown? Also, I want you to look through this and kind of look at some of the literary elements. We saw some personification. Is there simile? Is there imagery? And we're going to talk about that really specifically tomorrow in class. So I want you, when you're filling out your heroes logs, to look at, what are the literary elements in here that we've talked about, and how does Homer show that Greek literary elements? Okay, tomorrow, talking about the sirens. Hopefully you'll be ready to go, and I hope this helped you.